Chapter number 13, practice set 13.1. First question is given that in each pair of triangle in the following figure, parts bearing identical marks are congruent. State the test and correspondence of vertices by which triangles in each pair are congruent. So in each example we are given two triangles and the two triangles are shown with the identical mark of congruence. It means if this side is congruent to this side, then it will have identical or same marking, and if this angle is congruent to this angle, then it is shown with the same or identical marking. So it means that the two triangles are congruent to each other, and we have to state the test by which the two triangles are congruent to each other, as well as we have to state the correspondence of the vertices by which the triangles are congruent. You have to show the vertex which is corresponding to another vertex in the another triangle. So let us solve the examples. This is the solution of the first answer. First question, that is, triangle is given as WZX congruent to triangle WZY. So in this, the identical marking is for side WX congruent to side WY, and one angle, this angle XWZ is congruent to this YWZ. So these both are angles which are congruent, and it is included in this side, this WX and WY. So we have one side and one angle congruent. Now for SAS test we need three parts, that is side, angle, side. We can see in this figure by observation that this WZ side is common in both the triangle. Means that this WZ is congruent to this WZ. WZ which belongs to this left hand side triangle and WZ which belongs to this right hand side triangle is congruent. That means that side, angle, side, and here also side, angle, side. So these triangles are congruent by side, angle, side SAS test, and the correspondence is XWZ correspond to YWZ. This is the correspondence. In the second, here two triangles are given as IJK and IJL. Both these triangles are congruent to each other, and we find here that this side is congruent to this side and this angle is congruent to this angle, and by observation we can see that this is 90-degree angle and this angle opposite side is IK and this angle's opposite side is this IL. So this is hypotenuse IL and this is hypotenuse IK. So this hypotenuse is congruent to this hypotenuse and this angle is congruent to this angle. So these two triangles are congruent by hypotenuse side test, and the correspondence is KJI corresponds to LJI. This is the correspondence. Now let us see third example. Here it is given that two triangles are this GHE and GFE. These are the two triangles. Here this side HG is congruent to this side EF and this side GF is congruent to this side HE. Now we can see by observation that this GE is a common side. So this GE is congruent to this GE. So we can see that three sides of this triangle is congruent to three sides of this angle and their triangle, and therefore these two triangles are congruent by side test, that is SSS test, and the correspondence is HEG is corresponding to FGE. HEG corresponding to FGE. Okay. Now fourth, here the two triangles are this one. Here we can see that this is 90-degree angle, but here it is not a 90-degree angle. This angle is shown congruent and this side is shown congruent SM to this side OP. So we have two angles which are shown as congruent to these two angles. Okay. So this side is included between these two angles and therefore it is ASA test. ASA. So these two triangles are congruent by ASA test in the correspondence as SMA corresponding to OPT. Okay. SMA corresponding to OPT. Side, angle, angle side angle test is the test of the congruence. Now fifth problem. The two triangles are shown here like this, and we can see by observation that these are the 90-degree angles, and the opposite side of 90-degree angle is known as the hypotenuse. But here this angle is shown as congruent to this angle also. So we have two angles and one side is there. Side is not included in this angle. Okay, between these two angles, side is different from these two angles. It is not in between these two angles. Like here we can see that these angles are there and this side is included between these two angles. So it is angle side angle. But here this side is not in between these two angles. So it cannot be ASA test. It is side and then angle angle. Okay, this side is congruent to this side, this angle is congruent to this angle, and this angle is congruent to this angle. So these two triangles are congruent to each other by SAA test, side angle angle test, and the correspondence is MTN corresponds to STN. This is the correspondence, MTN corresponding to STN. So these were the tests by which the triangles given in the question, two triangles are congruent to each other, and the correspondence also we have already seen. The correspondence by which the two triangles are congruent to each other. So practice set 13.1 is completed here.